Hey everyone. So I guess to start off I should actually talk about a little bit of news I missed, which is that going into the new year, Toei has decided to switch to a production cadence of, I believe they said 26 episodes per year, rather than going of going the constant weekly schedule of just making an episode every week throughout the entirety of the year. And in all honesty, putting aside the obvious reasons for doing this, which is running into a potential adaptation roadblock, as there really is only a handful of Egghead left to adapt before we jump straight into Elbath, I think this generally is the best path for Toei to take, so there's not as much stress or rush for the animators, which in itself means more consistent production values each episode and just a general slightly more maybe easygoing work environment for them. But also this might potentially mean we won't be getting any more recap episodes, or maybe just not as many as we've been getting in between the canon stuff. So yeah, as a whole, I see this as nothing but a good thing, and in truth, on a personal level, I am going to appreciate that I will be able to take my own breaks from reviewing the anime, because there have been times I felt burned out reviewing the anime from week to week every year. So it's gonna be nice to just have that break a bit. I think one of the interesting things though for me is how exactly they're planning the scheduling out though for this, because is it just gonna be like 26 straight episodes a year, meaning probably only like half, at least half of the year is going to be the anime, how exactly are they going to space this out? Is it going to it's again, it's probably still going to be week to week, I imagine, but yeah, I'm curious how that's going to happen. Now, with that said, a pretty major revelation acknowledgement was made in this episode, which is that after a brief clash between Zoro and Nusjuro, it's revealed that both are wielding a Kitetsu blade. So yeah, a lot to talk about with this particular revelation. But first and foremost, I would say the biggest thing is this definitely set both of them on a path that this won't be the last time they clash blades. Now, when exactly will that next time when that next time is going to be, who knows? But very likely it's going to be an end game kind of scenario, depending on just how the climax of the series plays out. Because knowing Oda, I'm imagining there's going to be tiers and levels to the Throne Wars, and that it's not just going to be about defeating one antagonist like one at a time. It's going to be true to its name, the Throne Wars. It's going to be an all-out war of everyone going at each other kind of thing, like a total battle royale kind of thing. But regardless, one of the popular theories I've heard is there will come a point in the series where Zoro defeats Nosjuro and takes his sword. Now, not to say I don't still believe in that, but my biggest question to come from that theory is under what circumstances would he need to take the sword from Nosjuro? Because with the current lineup of swords that Zoro has, Enma and from Sandai and Wadoichi Monji, I don't know if we're gonna see Zoro like break any more of his swords going forward. So, and I don't think Oda even has plans to destroy Wadoichi Monji. So, for me, it's a question of what would be the purpose or need in order for that to happen. And the only conclusion I came to personally is that some way, somewhere, somehow, we're going to see Zoro and Tashigi take on Nosjuro in that circumstance. It would very much be a callback to what Tashigi had said to Zoro when they first met about keeping the legendary blades out of the hands of evil men. And although Tashigi was obviously talking about pirates at the time, let's be honest, in the pretty much long term of One Piece, and in the very long list of well-known Marines we know that are most likely to kind of directly oppose the government at some point, Smoker and Tashigi are very likely on the list, followed by Fujitora, then Kobe, Helmeppo, and Garp. Like, even though the latter is technically retired, like, this is the only way I'm seeing the probable scenario play out, is Tashigi taking ownership of Nosjiro's Kitetsu blade rather than it being Zoro, and then maybe later that both Tashigi and Zoro helps to team up, and that helps to play a role in finally defeating Emu. Maybe I don't know, but it's the only, like, for me personally, that's kind of my view on how I see that all playing out right now. I just don't know for sure. I'm just trying to fit it within the current framework of the theory I know, and how I'm kind of seeing, and how to tweak it given current events. Like, I don't think, again, I'm not seeing a scenario where Enma, I'm finding it very hard to believe a scenario where Enma gets broken, or even for Sandai Kitetsu for that matter. Like, Sandai Kitetsu is gonna, even if it breaks, it won't break until like the end of the series. So yeah, that's kind of just my view on how I think the whole thing with Nosjuro and his Kitetsu blade might go down. With that said, obviously we do need to talk about the ending where the giant sinks to the bottom of the sea and the transmission gets cut off. Now, there is a little bit of, I will say this, there's a little bit more of Vegapunk's message that will be, I think, shown, but yeah, this is pretty much the end of Vegapunk spilling the major secrets of the world to the public. And admittedly, when I first read this in the manga, I was viciously annoyed that Oda would blue ball us at such a critical moment. But I also forgot Oda's golden rule, which is that there's a time and place for everything. And in this case, Oda revealed all that he intended to. Everything else that has yet to be revealed will be made known when the time is right. And I guess just to give every, and I will say, and this especially is the case given current events in of where the manga is, and I guess just to give every anime only a little bit of a taster, the next major piece of this puzzle will be revealed on the island where it all began. You could probably guess which island I'm referring to, but which is God Valley. But yeah, this is the portion of Revelations that Oda was said, okay, it's time to cut it off. I'm gonna save the rest for later when the time is right. And again, that time is right is when we learn the full truth of what happens on God Valley. Of course, even more important is as the giant sinks beneath the waves, we hear it speak, reaching out for Joy Boy. Now, this is where things get even more fun, though, because before I think this arc is over, we will get one final breadcrumb. I can't remember if it happens immediately in the next episode or with the final episode of the arc, but yeah, it's I think it's happening soon, I believe. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much all I got for this review. If you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe from the Blue Sky, and on this Crunchyroll, be sure to click the bell, hit the subscribe button, and just share the video around, guys. Dark Knight of NA signing off. Later, everyone.